do want to talk about ZS Pharma, which is another one of our Emerging Technology Fund recipients. Liver disease affects 1 out of every 10 Americans. 26 million Americans have some form of kidney disease. Current forms of treatment are both burdensome and expensive. ZS Pharma is changing the lives of these patients with an innovative product that provides treatment through tablet or capsule form. Please welcome the Vice President of Marketing and Professional Education for ZS Pharma, Steve Hellebusch. Steve?
All right. I first wanted to say thank you, just as everyone else did, especially to the MTBC, for both the honor and the opportunity to talk, and to Tech for Work for their support and help with us with ZS Pharma. The first slide. I kind of set this up as a few brief questions, and the first was why bother, which I think you just answered that question, so we don't need to belabor it, but there's a need, essentially. And the need is for a product that will either delay or prevent dialysis, a product that will help with the cardiovascular system, and that's essentially what we're shooting for. The current product is inadequate, and so we see an opportunity in filling the need, obviously. The second question is, what is the product for? And here it takes a little bit of explaining. The level of potassium in the blood has to be right in an appropriate range. And if it's too low, you have difficulties, especially with neurology. And if it's too high, you have cardio difficulties. And the product is intended to treat hyperkalemia, which is the name for high levels of potassium. And you can see the general levels that we have there on the slide for where potassium is supposed to be. Who's it for? We've done a lot of exploration of that, and essentially there are 3 types of patients. We see this as a very large business opportunity, as you see, but there are a lot of people that can be helped. And the first type is the one that we're shooting for right now. Acute hyperkalemia exists primarily in hospitals. Often these people show up at emergency room doors, and they need to be treated right away because it's a life-threatening condition. They're in that category of having cardio problems because their kidneys aren't properly processing the levels of potassium out of their bloodstream. The second group is the people with chronic kidney disease, which is also a very large group of people, and they tend to be in the moderate range and can be helped by a product that will help keep them, get them back down to the normal range and help them to function. And then finally, there's a large group of kind of what I call all other that we're just beginning to explore. We are one of those small companies. I think we have 6 or 7 total people in the company. So we're still doing some initial explorations. And that group is, to some extent, an unknown, although we know some of the conditions that are caused there. Again, the current product, the SPS product, is inadequate, ineffective, it doesn't work very well, and Darlene actually asked me if this was a typo. It's severely constipating, so that's not a typo. You actually have to give a lot of laxatives when you take this product too. Very unpleasant to take. The product we're developing, ZS9, is more potent, and it's certainly going to be more pleasant to take, especially in the capsule form. What is it? It's a crystal, essentially, and it's a crystal that removes potassium from the gut, and you can read the slide. I won't read it to you, but what is it? Is basically it's an opportunity to help a lot of people, the people I just talked about, and also create a good product and a thriving business. Our update, much like the presbyopia folks, we're in discussions with the FDA. We have positive pre-clinical animal data. We know it works in rats and dogs. We didn't do rabbits yet. The IND was filed. That's the investigational new drug application, and that's the first step in getting FDA approval. We filed that in December, and we're in current discussions with FDA on beginning the first human trial, which we expect to happen before the end of this year, to get started on that before the end of this year. And that's the brief summary. Thank you for your time and attention.